Welcome back to the Underdog Podcast. Today we got a behind the business. We're going to be talking about some upcoming events that we have going on, a little bit about our retail expansion, distribution expansion outside the Northeast as well. And it really starts with this ECRM event that we have coming up in Dallas. We got a few other things in the works that we're really planning for in the first part of 2026, which we're super excited about. I think you guys are going to be very excited as well. So, we basically got what, 2 weeks now till we go down there?
Yeah.
3 weeks?
Yeah, 3 weeks. Yeah, we
Yeah.
head down, starts February 15th. It's what, 24th? Yeah,
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah. So this brings us back to,
Full circle.
yeah, summer of 2023. Hopefully we leave there with the same amount of victorious feeling that we had from, you remember that? You remember like how excited we were?
Yeah, because we were down in the dumps the whole day because every meeting before that was terrible.
Yeah. So we had the last ECRM event we were at was in
That'd been
Chicago.
sophomore year, summer of sophomore year, or summer after
Yep.
sophomore year. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would have been. And that was where we landed Hannaford. Little did we know it was going to be a long journey after that, but we went out there as a part of the Range Me Live sessions, which was essentially like a trial test for ECRM. You only have like 5 meetings. In a traditional ECRM event, you have up to 25 or 30, and it's essentially like speed dating with buyers,
hmm
basically what it is. And we only had 5, and basically that trial test that you have, you're not really expected. I don't think they expect anybody to really leave there with anything.
No, probably not.
And we could kind of tell that too. The first 4 meetings we had, it was just kind of like they were just going through the motions. Like I think they were doing a favor for ECRM more than anything.
That's like, okay, we'll meet with your little Range Me Live guys. Like,
Yeah,
we're there, so
yeah,
we'll cut you, we'll do you a favor type of thing. I
and
mean, shit, we met with Walgreens. Like,
yeah, and we were totally separate from the ECRM event. Like the ECRM event was in like the ballroom, and then we had like a little corner of like a meeting space.
and they were in the little tiny rooms. You remember that? There's like a
Yeah,
hallway of little independent
yeah,
rooms. Yeah.
yeah. But we showed up to freaking play, baby. We struck out +1 on the first 4 meetings, and we were kind of down in the dumps. This was, I mean, we made the whole trip out there. At that point, we didn't have much capital to work with, so it was a big,
Big
investment for
expense
us.
for that
Yeah,
trip.
big
Yeah.
expense. But we did plan on driving back into U-Haul, which we'll get back to again. We covered that whole story in a previous episode, but we ended up landing Hannaford at that event. So this will be our first time going back to that buyer seller conference since 2023, and we have 25 meetings roughly. Yeah, and some of them are solid.
Some
I
good
mean,
ones.
HEB, a couple fairly decent sized distributors. There's that not grocery outlet.
That's one of them too.
Well, that's
Yeah.
one of them, but the chain that we were talking about, Associated.
Yeah. Associated Supermarkets in like the Long Island, New York, greater
Yeah,
New York area. Another good one. Hotspot Convenience, which is probably the most exciting one. It's kind of where, and this can tie into the next phase of expansion as well, but that's kind of, the next territories we're looking to get down into as we work our way down the East Coast towards Florida. But Hotspot Convenience, like kind of a perfect southern spin on like a Cumbies or even a Seasons, for example. Like maybe that's a
yeah,
good comparison. So could be another good one.
yeah,
There's a few like that.
yeah. And we'll be bringing our new formula as well as our existing. So this is our existing. Well, actually, this is from our Noble run right here. We have even newer cans than this, but we bring in our new flavors, revised formula, revised flavor profile, reducing our sweeteners from 3 natural sweeteners to just 1, which we're very excited about. I think they're gonna see a noticeable difference, which
Mhm.
I think having those samples there are gonna help us kind of get over the edge of like, hey, these are the improvements that we've made. This is the retail footprint expansion that we've seen over the past couple of years, and I think they're gonna be excited.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, I think we going from like literally nothing. I mean, we landed Hannaford being like, hey, we're 2 college kids. We just launched this. We just got our second flavor out at that time, which we were pretty pumped about because we were like
remember the
excited
timing?
to have Blue Raz there. Yeah.
The timing on that, we were like, we didn't know if we were gonna have blue raspberry. We thought we were just gonna have strawberry lemonade.
Yeah. Yeah. Because how did that work? We ended up producing in Framingham and bringing some to ECRM. That's right. That's right. Because we had the tablecloth designed with Blue Raz on it, which we obviously didn't need, but
Yeah,
we were like, are we going to have Blue Raz ready? But we were excited to just have that. And we're like, yeah, we have no stores, some mom and pops and gyms and whatnot. And they were happen to be there looking for a cleaner alternative energy drink, so it was kind of perfect. But
Yeah. So I mean, I think we're going there with the same mindset. Well, a little bit different of a mindset is like if we can land 4 or 5 partners leaving Dallas, that'd be huge. And like you said, we kind of have a leg up from where we were last time. We actually have a retail footprint. We've shown significant growth over the past couple of years. And if you're in the beverage space or the CPG space, you know how difficult it is to get in front of a buyer in general and communicate with the buyer. So having an event like this, I think that's why ECRM has seen so much success, is because you're in front of the buyer. It's meetings, it's scheduled meetings that you have throughout the course of the few days that you're there. So now it's just preparation time, plan for each meeting, figure out kind of what makes them tick a little bit. I think is, why you put together that document. Because at the end of the day, I mean, we've seen just with the meetings that we've had with Hannaford and their current partners, like you got to kind of figure out who they are as people. That's coming up in 2 weeks. As we talked about on the last episode, 2026 is going to be a big retail expansion year focus for us. I mean, ideally in a perfect world, we get to 1,500 or 2,000 accounts by the end of 2026. Like, I think that's got to be the goal. But not just that, it's got to be sell-through, which I think goes into our revised formula, our new rebranded cans. Like, those two are going to create the sell-through that we need. I don't think we're going to have any issues opening up new doors. It's just a matter of making sure that there's support there to ensure there's retention from not just the customers, but also the support from the distributors. Because if it's not selling through, you're not going to get any support from distribution. So that's what we got coming up here shortly in the next couple of weeks. And we're also going to be stopping by a manufacturer for our new product line down in Texas as well, which we're super excited about. And that's been an ongoing process because we've been working on a patent concept, which kind of ties into that whole week overall. I kind of totally forgot. Once we get back from Dallas, we're going to Pack Expo East, which is down in Philly. So we'll get back into Portland and drive to Philly the next day.
We'll probably just stay in Mass.
True. Yeah. I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
And head down.
Head down to Philly. And our goal there is we're going to be trying to find a supplier who can help bring our patent vision to life. And I think, as we know, as we've even seen with just a traditional non-patented product, how long these things take to manufacture. So this very well could be an 18 to 24 month process, but you got to start somewhere. So I think, we've experienced how long these things take to actually bring a vision and a concept to life. And this is going to kind of be a whole new level. But, the bigger the vision, the longer it's going to take, really. But we could be wrong. Could be totally different,
Yeah. We've seen how long it takes. I don't think we've ever, when we've initially planned, like, we're going to produce on such and such date, I don't know if it's ever happened. It always gets pushed off. There's always something that comes up, and that's just kind of the nature of the beast. I mean, hell, look at even getting the samples of the new line. We were planning to get those end of November. They didn't come until the first part of January.
Yeah. No, exactly. And they're going through a whole expansion as well. Like, freaking, 5 to 10 times the size.
Yeah. What did they say? We're going from like 15,000 square feet to 100.
Yeah. That's pretty substantial.
Yeah.
Which also means they're bringing on new clients. And
I saw another post about that the other day, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so a lot of moving parts. And I think the next 3 months is going to be, and we've talked about this yesterday, like, we got to execute on every step of this 3-month plan for the end to actually happen. So the stars kind of have to align, but the plan's there. Obviously, there's a lot of risk involved with the plan that we have in the next 3 months. But as the old cliche goes, no risk, no reward. And that's what we're going to see. So we've been in situations like this before, and we've come out the other end. So it might not be exactly an A to B. Like, there's probably going to be something thrown in there where, like, okay, we gotta kind of adapt and figure out how we're going to make this work. But basically in the next 3 months, we got to complete this raise on this funding round that we're in right now, and that's going to help us get the new product out there to market, because we have some promos planned for Q2, Q3 with current retailers and hopeful new retailers that we want to roll out with the new formula, the new cans, maybe even potentially the new flavor. which we have existing inventory right now that we want to try and burn through in the next 3 months, so we can roll out that new formula and maybe the new product line as well. But a lot goes into that. Like I said before, if you're in the beverage space or the CPG space, you know how much you need to support with marketing. Marketing is expensive, especially if once you get into retail. I think that's one thing we realized when we first got that promo book or marketing schedule from Hannaford, and it's like there's substantial numbers. Like for a small business to be able to compete in that category,
That's why we steered clear of it too.
Yeah.
Like we kind of had an idea, and even looking at, we might have to cut this out, but even at Shaw's, like the $10,000 slotting fee, we're like, yeah, no, we're not getting into Shaw's this year. That's just the nature of the beast, because we don't have 10K to drop per SKU. Yeah, to get in. Like, and I'd seen that promo catalog from Melanie, or not Melanie, from Mackenzie, and it was the same thing. We're like, this isn't even justifiable for what we're doing in terms of volume right now. Like it's just simply not feasible.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the sad reality of it, is we have to find a way to grow fast enough to be able to support that, because we need to be able to do that sort of promotion and, have those, marketing capabilities in order to grow.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Like no matter how you look at it, if you don't run the promo or do a quarterly promo with the retailers you're in, you're likely not going to have the numbers that these other brands are doing, especially considering they're such bigger brands that are running promos on top of that. So it's all about keeping up. You don't want to be, I forget who I was talking to, but they're like, you don't want to be in the bottom 10% in your category, So I think that's something that we're looking to climb up the ranks. And, unfortunately, that's the nature of the beast in beverage, is that you need money to play with. So that's how a lot of beverage brands, they end up in this loop of like constantly raise money, which makes it difficult. That's why I think like disruptive marketing is the way to do it. And you got to find like unique strategies, like we're trying to work on with content and doing the live selling on TikTok. Like all those are organic opportunities for us to get the brand out there and build awareness around the product without having to pay an arm and a leg and sell your soul and sell your equity. And you know what I mean? All these sorts of things. So, and I'd be curious to see what it's going to be like with the other retailers. I mean, we know how it varies from retailer to retailer. And we've also realized how much it's relied on who you know.
Yeah, it's very much like anything now, connection-based. Who do you know? Look at hockey. I mean, probably one of the most political sports there is. We've seen, it's kind of like the common cliche growing up in a hockey town of like, what kids make the AAA team growing up, and who do you know? And you really kind of see that come to light, especially as you get older. And, we've kind of been through the ringer with that. You see it firsthand, but business is the same way. It's who do you know?
Most cutthroat thing there is.
Buyer knows someone. Well, if the buyer knows a founder of a brand, that brand's going to have a better shot at getting their product on that buyer's shelf. That's just how it is. But yeah, we've seen in firsthand, like look at our investors, look at our manufacturer. It's all come from connections. Everything, not everything, but a lot of the stuff that, or not the reason we're in this position, but a lot of the decisions we've made have been based on information we've gathered from connections that help us make that decision. Like, it really is who you know.
Yeah. And I think that goes with the mindset that we've had of like never turn down a meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Like you might look,
you don't know what that connection's going to do.
Exactly. And it might seem harmless in a useless conversation on the outside looking at it, like whatever their background is, like, this isn't probably going to lead to anything until they're like, oh, I actually know so-and-so, and they connect you to them. And all of a sudden that's your
look at last night's meeting. Who knows what that could turn into?
Yeah.
And it just started from a LinkedIn connection.
Yeah.
Just goes to show.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Or even like, look at, without naming names, but one of our most supportive investors came from us walking cold into a gym and pitching the product. And now he's our biggest supporter.
Yeah.
All because we walked into a gym and got to know them.
Yeah. And I think that's kind of the, not misconception, but thing that founders, I guess, or my younger self didn't realize is like, you gotta get out of your comfort zone. You have to kind of turn over every rock, every stone, every boulder there is, regardless of, the time invested that you think it's going to be. Because like you said, like you never know what it could lead to, and that's given us every opportunity that we have today.
Mhm.
And it's
Even
easy to forget that
distribution. I mean,
too.
we could go across the board down the
Yeah.
list of the things that have come from getting out of our comfort zone, making a connection, establishing a relationship with that person.
Yeah. Which imagine if that was all we focused on was, working on the business, not in the business, like we just talked about yesterday. I think a lot of the opportunity for us on that bell curve of growth is going to come with expanding the team and delegating work and not necessarily like, hey, like, you're taking control of this. Like we're always going to be working collectively with whoever we're working with and kind of setting the vision and the track that we want to see for the brand. Cause at the end of the day, I think that's one thing that founders try to avoid is losing the vision that they had for the brand
Mm.
in the first place. Ben Francis talks about that a lot with Gymshark, where in the early days and even to present day now is like he's still very hands on with where he wants the brand to go. Um, you know, whenever that path ends, whenever he either retires or sells it, whatever it may be, he's always been very hands on and like taking thoughts and suggestions into consideration, but not necessarily like this is what we're going for, which we've fallen into that trap a few times now, with people giving us advice. And it's like, oh, like, they got experience in the space and let's do it. Let's put the foot on the gas. Let's do this thing, when at the end of the day, I think we know what's best
Mm.
for, what we want to do with the brand. We're in it every day.
Mm.
Like
Yep.
we know where we're at. We know every aspect of where the business is at. So whatever opportunity comes our way, we know whether it's a good opportunity or not. Um, it's just a matter of taking the advice from people on the outside who have the experience and are willing enough to give us the advice. And it may not be the exact advice that we execute on. It might be like it might spark another idea that we have for an avenue we can go down.
Mm.
So, and that's kind of like what we have now, right? Like we had all that inventory from that anticipated partnership that we were going to have, and we were like, okay, we got to figure out a way to sell, you know what I mean,
Mm.
in large quantities. And that was when we jumped on TikTok and started down that whole path, you know what I mean? So I think part of it's like being backed into a corner.
Mm.
Like, all right, we got to find a way out now. There's we don't have a choice.
Yeah, but look what doors that's opened up to, like the whole live selling. I think it kind of was perfect timing. Like one, we were looking for that outlet, and two, live selling was really starting to take off. Like they kind of came together at the right time. People like Gary Vee talking about the significance that live selling is going to have. We're kind of getting onto or into the TikTok realm right when this is coming out, and yeah, we jump in on the live selling and like, look what that's done for us in the last 4 months, call it.
Yeah.
It's been incredible. Like the amount of units, even since we've opened the shop, we've sold over 2,000 cases
Yeah.
since we reopened the shop in November.
Yeah, we sold over 4,000 cases since we started on TikTok,
which is crazy.
Yeah, which is insane. And I think if we could ultimately leverage and scale the live selling, that would be a huge opportunity for us. But at the same time, we don't want to tamper with what has given us the success, which is the founder facing Q&A style, like community building. I think however we scale it, whether that's bringing on more people to run them throughout the day, I think we always have to be on there eventually, even if it's 30 minutes to an hour a day, just talking and hanging out with the people who have supported us from the start.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads us to the next point of our new product line that we're going to be coming out with in 2026 is it's more favorable for a platform like TikTok, like live selling, because that's one thing that we know in beverage is that margins get very tight, and especially in direct to consumer, you end up paying shipping, because everybody expects free shipping.
It's actually crazy. Like, I was not to go on a tangent, but like, yeah, we've seen the struggles or hardships of D2C, and obviously shipping is difficult, and more so with beverage, twofold, because our margins are really tight, or everyone's margins are really tight in beverage, and two, shipping a friggin' 12-ounce can, and then you throw a case of them in, or 2 cases, and ship that across the country. It's freaking heavy. It's expensive.
Yeah.
And yeah, people are so conditioned. Like, I still am just baffled at the amount of people that are like $9.99 shipping, rip off, not doing it. It's like, well, get a second case and it's free shipping. Like, it's actually crazy how much people expect and demand free shipping, and they don't understand. Like, um, there was another one the other day, same thing in the comment section of the live stream, talking about like shipping and handling of $10. It's like, dude, like just logically think about this. This is a 10-pound package, and we are shipping it from Maine to Oregon across the
It's
country.
like shipping bricks
Yes,
in
and
a
you're
box.
complaining about that there's a shipping fee to begin with, and that we're waiving it at 2 cases. Like, that's the crazy part, is we're eating all that, and they're so conditioned for that.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, which I mean, it crushes bottom line, and I think there are so many founders in beverage, and I think things are starting to change. Just talking to like Romeo and people who've been in CPG, we want to improve our bottom line.
Mm.
End of story. Like, that's what we need to do. It
Mm.
doesn't matter what your top line revenue is. Bottom line is the most important at the end of the day.
Which is funny because it's kind of changed, where it was like, we've
yeah.
never had an investor ask about how profitable are you guys. It's, well, what are you doing? How much money are you bringing in?
Which
what's
still, I have yet to have a conversation with an investor that is strictly focused on profit, especially in a startup. Like, I don't think they're expecting you to be profitable in the early days, like even where we're at now, which is a good thing, right? It gives you a little bit more flexibility in terms of how you can get to that next phase of growth. But I think in the back of our minds, and a part of our vision has to be that, okay, what's the point of profitability? When can we improve our bottom line to get to a point where it's attractive to an acquirer, to a partner, to a strategic partner, whatever it may be. So that's what like part of this new product line is going to be, is to hedge against shipping, logistics,
bundling opportunities.
And I mean, we've seen the opportunity with direct to consumer. There's less, I won't even call it red tape, but yellow tape, kind of like, you have in retail, is like there's so many moving parts in retail to actually implement something. Whereas like we have an idea for online e-commerce, direct to consumer, we can make that switch like quick. Whereas we want to make a price change in retail, it's like you got to really pull some strings if you want it to happen like in a month.
Well, look how long it took us to get the price reduction in Hannaford.
It's 5 months.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And we still fought tooth and nail to get it. They're like, well, I don't know. We'll see if this will be approved. Approved, your margin's staying the same. Like, yeah, it's unbelievable how difficult it is. And then you look on D2C, it's like, well, okay, done. Price is lower.
And everything's, I think that's the other thing too, is that I love about direct to consumer, is that you have so much control. You lose a lot of control when you start adding in third party, whether it's DSD
into the
retailer, brokers even, whereas in-house with direct consumer. And I think that's why so many people, especially when there was that e-commerce boom, I mean, we're still seeing a little bit of an e-commerce boom, but there are e-commerce brands popping up left and right in droves, right? Because the opportunity it's crazy, the opportunity that you have.
And that's why I think having a powdered version someday would be so cool
awesome.
For D2C, because it's, one, we don't have to worry. It's lighter, so it's going to be easier to ship, cheaper to ship, and like the damage control. Like, shipping a beverage is risky. One drop, you have cans leaking everywhere. Customers pissed off. We're pissed off.
Even little dents.
Yeah.
That you can still drink them.
Don't even get me started. On that.
And I think these are the things that people don't realize when you start a business. Is there's going to be these little small pain points that come on a regular basis that you have to deal with, and when you're first starting the brand, it's like you're not going to think that a customer is going to want a refund on a can that has a small nick in the side, or the digitally printed can, part of the paint's missing, and that implies that they're going to request a refund on the whole thing. But at the same time, like you can't counter that. It's like, okay, how can we resolve this? Is it a store credit? Is it a discount on your next order? Because we're not refunding it. So it's about keeping the customer happy, while you kind of go through that process, because there are no two people that are the same. Yeah. And then you have people who, submit 5-star reviews, or they'll DM us or something like that. And it's like, hey, like, I just want to let you know, like 2 of the cans got, dummied in transit. I'm not going to leave a bad review or anything like that. I just want to let you know, I'm not asking for a refund. I'm not asking for a replacement. And they get it, So there's always 2 ends of the spectrum that you're inevitably going to have to deal with. So,
yeah, which will be nice when we have, say if we did do a powder someday, or, with this new product line that we are going to come out with in 2026, like, there's none of that. Like, you can throw this across the room. It's not going to be damaged, You
can spike it on the ground.
Yeah, which is just going to be so nice. And the bundle opportunity, like, okay, if we're already paying for shipping on the beverage and they throw this in, it's not changing anything
Yeah.
on our existing packaging. It's essentially free to ship. So,
Yeah, and if we can keep finding those direct to consumer friendly products that are still in this, they have a synergy with the energy drink, it's going to be advantageous for us just for our growth overall, you know.
yeah,
And even if one of the other product lines takes off more than the energy drink, it's still awareness around the brand. You know,
that's all.
that logo, the name, people are going to resonate with it. They're going to see it, and then when they see the energy drink on shelves, they know who they're getting involved with,
Mm.
you know, and they know our main pillars. That's why, you know, we've always harped on how can we stay true to our values of like trust and transparency, cleanliness, health, you know, all those sorts of things, which we're gonna have to repeat with every product that we come out with.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's weird. That's why I thought the David bar whole thing that they came out with the freaking fish thing, which I still don't even know if that's real or
I
not.
think it was a marketing ploy.
It
I
could be.
don't know either.
It could be, but I think that's why it had such a substantial impact because it's like, what the hell? That would be like us coming out with like a freaking hard alcohol or something or a THC gummy,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Something
So,
totally out of pocket, but you see the connection. You're like, okay, well, it's protein, I
yeah.
guess. Like, that'd be like us, I don't know, coming out with somehow it ties into energy, but you like, I don't know, rub it on your ass. It's like cream you rub on your legs. We're like, energy, okay, I see, just totally unrelated, but
Yeah.
like makes people go, what the hell?
Yeah. Yeah. And there was something recently too. Lunchly. I told you about Lunchly, right? The whole thing with Mr. Beast and Prime and stuff like that. And like that is very interesting marketing. It's disruptive because nobody's doing it. And it's still a way of getting your product aligned with a brand, you
Mm.
know, and I think we saw that too with like goalie and dude wipes with that like strategic, I'll call that a strategic partnership.
Healthy gut, clean butt.
Yeah, something like that. I always get it screwed up, but like those unique marketing initiatives, I think are things that we're going to keep our eyes out for because, you know, I don't like the influencer marketing side of things. I love creator partnerships on TikTok and maybe even having an internal affiliate marketing software, but I'm talking like a full-fledged campaign with an influencer that you're paying $200,000 a
Mm.
year. I don't believe in those, you know, because oftentimes too, you see it. You can see right through an ad campaign, whether it's an athlete partnered with a brand. It's like it's salesy, it's commercialized, and people see that all the time now. They don't want that.
Mhm.
You know, they want authenticity. They want transparency. It's different if they're a founder.
Yeah.
You know, they're the founder of the company or co-founder, whatever it may be. But I think that we've seen so much success with just that micro affiliate, micro influencer at scale, you know. But I think if we could do a cool like strategic partnership with another brand, even, you know, like Lunchly did with Prime, that'd be pretty cool,
Yeah.
you know, or a meal prep company, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, which I think that would be cool, super cool. And we got that event with, Clean Eats coming up. Maybe something comes of that and it
Yeah,
becomes a thing, with the retail footprint that they have. Maybe it becomes a thing and you're sold in all the Clean Eats locations and it kind of becomes like the partner with meal prep, which I think would be super cool.
yeah, and it's just like you look across every landscape, every industry. Even last night or the last few days that I've met with, um, you know, the founders of CPG funds, and they're all partnered with Shopline,
Hmm.
and Shopline's cherry picking customers from Shopify by incentivizing them with equity grants
Yeah.
and cash grants and all those sorts of things. So it's just you got to find a unique approach to marketing nowadays. Being in the the so-called saturated markets, you need it even more.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, it's going to be a interesting few weeks, few months, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll do a recap on how it goes.
The May 1st episode or June 1st,
Yeah,
somewhere in there. If we're
yeah,
still like, I don't know, I might not have any hair by then. We'll see.
gray hair,
Yeah.
losing hair, look like a different person.
Oh
Yeah,
God.
but yeah. So, um, anything else you think today?
I don't think
Not
so.
really.
I think
No.
we kind of covered everything.
Yep.
And ECRM coming up in a few weeks, and that'll be a big one. We'll have a recap after that. Scotty will be coming down, getting
Oh
some
yeah.
footage.
Yeah, we'll have some behind the
That'll be good.
scenes like founder content that we're going to put out, long form content on YouTube, like as like a documentary style footage of that whole day, which is going to cover the buyer seller conference at ECRM, visiting the manufacturer in Dallas as well. And yeah, so be on the lookout for that. We'll post all these snippets from the podcast as well across all of our social media platforms. But the actual long form audio podcast is available on all streaming platforms, and the video version will be on YouTube as well. So if you guys want to check that out, please do subscribe, follow us on all platforms at underdog_brand. And we appreciate all the support, and be sure to keep drinking Underdog right there. See you guys on the next episode. Ooh.